right, moving on to this stupid ass organization. Somebody take this first. Brooklyn Nets
So,
season
Who
preview.
do?
Stupid ass
I'll take it.
organization.
I mean, I'll take it.
Oh
The
man.
Brooklyn Nets. So I'm assuming if we talk about them, we're going to make the assumption that they're going to bring Kevin Durant back. Ben Simmons is going to be healthy. We're going to bring Kyrie Irving back. We all agree that's the assumption we're going to make as a team on this podcast based
Yes.
on that. All right,
And
cool.
we're gonna get some minutes out of we're gonna get some minutes out of Simmons this season.
Yeah, based on that, I feel
Yeah,
like
that's a fair that's a fair assessment. Yeah.
at one point last year without Ben Simmons and without James Harden, they were the best team in the conference until arguably the best player in the world, Kevin Durant, went down with I forgot exactly what his injury was, but obviously he went down. They were the one seed.
every year.
They were the one seed. They were ahead of everybody. They were ahead of Milwaukee. They were ahead of Boston. They were ahead of Philadelphia. Ahead of all of these top tier teams, top to bottom, who go. They were ahead of all these teams. Now you come into the next season fully healthy with a healthy Ben Simmons, a healthy Kyrie Irving, a healthy Joe Harris, a guy who they were missing the majority of the year last year, and it could be missing more into the next season. A healthy Seth Curry. You bring back, I'm pretty sure Bruce Brown is still in this team, right?
No, he's
You bring
gone.
back all these guys. I think Brooklyn should also another championship or bust team, assuming everybody is healthy. Bring back the best player in the world, Kevin Durant. With these guys, I think the sky's the limit, assuming everything ends up going right the way it should go. But if KD ends up sitting out a couple games, it will kind of ruin it would ruin the whole season for me. But I think Brooklyn has the goods. They have the goods to be that team in the East, and even in the Atlantic Division. They have the goods to take it all the way. But there's too much drama going on. There's too much all this outside noise, and it just kind of ruins the whole vibe for the team. We'll see where it ends up going. But assuming everything is all right, I think Brooklyn has the goods to get back to the finals. But I wouldn't bet on them, obviously, considering all the outside noises going on. But I think Brooklyn has the goods to get there with the fourth place. They can roll out a lineup of Kyrie Irving, Seth Curry, Joe Harris, Kevin Durant, Ben Simmons, maybe a Claxton at the 5. But it's just like, how do you stop that lineup? You got
buckets on
transition.
that.
You said what?
Buckets on that, but continue.
Buckets on that lineup?
Yes.
I would have to disagree. I think Ben Simmons, you talk about him, he's one of the best defenders. He can cover all the holes on that lineup. Kevin Durant is no slouch on defense. That's Nick Claxton, not really a slouch on defense, depending on who you're playing against. I think they'll be all right. They have the capability. They were the one seed last year with all the BS that was happening and everything that was going on until Kevin Durant went down. If they can get healthy and they can cancel out all the BS and somehow Kevin Durant can heal his relationship with the front office, I think Brooklyn, they can be that team as well. That's why the Atlantic Division is, like I said before when I looked at this, the Atlantic Division is the most competitive division in basketball. If anybody disagree with that, I think they're the most competitive division in basketball. There is no team in that division where there's a slouch at all. You're not looking at New York as a guarantee win. You're not looking at Brooklyn as a guarantee win. You are not looking at Toronto as a guarantee win, and you are not looking at Boston as a guarantee win, or Philadelphia. The most competitive division in basketball. But I think Brooklyn is so good, they're capable of coming out on top of this division. But it's just too much drama. We'll see where it ends up folding and going from there. But I think Brooklyn, they're also very talented, and they have the goods. They have the goods. It just depends on whatever folds out with all this drama and all this BS. Like you said, I want to mute Kevin Durant's name on Twitter. I don't really care about all the hypothetical trade scenarios that are coming across my timeline every day. I don't care. I'm tired of it. Like, something going to happen or not. All the BS and all the rumors with the Joe Tsai, and he wants him to fire Nash and fire Sean Marks. Like, bro, I don't care. Like, can we just get to some sort of conclusion at this point heading into the season? I don't want to see Kevin Durant sitting out. We're just going to have to see. But I think Brooklyn, considering, like, crossing out all the nonsense and all the talk, all the chatter that's going on across the league, they have the goods. If everything pans out, they have the goods. That's my thoughts on the Brooklyn Nets. I expect them to go, if everything goes right, I expect them to go like 55 and 26 or 55 and 27, however the math goes, something like that. They're going to be one of the better teams in the East.
Cam, Brooklyn Nets.
Joe is hysterical. I agree with you though. They do have the goods. They do have the goods.
They got the goods.
That team. If we're assuming everybody's healthy and we're going to get minutes from Simmons, everybody's healthy and they're going to play. That team is championship or bust. It's championship or bust for that team. Period. In the question without stories. It's been 3 years. We're in the third year of this flip flop up and down. I mean, we're in the third year of this hodgepodge, this mix up. What do you want to call this? You can't even call it good food. This jambalaya. You can't even call it a good mix because they ain't been a good mix. I mean, you can't. I don't even know what you
They
call
not
this
on the
mess.
court. They just not on the court.
Well, whatever. I mean, I expect this team. You have expectations from this team. You have expectations from Kevin Durant to show that he's a number one player, in the NBA, like everybody calls him. You have that expectation. You have the expectation
the best of my lifetime.
You have the expectation of Kyrie Irving to produce on the court when he plays. First of all, he produces when he plays, but you have the expectation of him to play. And then when he doesn't play, you're disappointed because he'll give you some of the craziest reasons why he doesn't get on the court. So you're disappointed by that. But when he plays, he produces. So you have Kyrie, KD, you have that expectation. And then as you mentioned, Ben Simmons fills a lot. He plugs a lot of holes. He plugs a lot of gaps.
A lot of holes.
For
a lot of them. Oh my God!
For the Brooklyn Nets.
Much.
So you want to see him.
Flaws.
You want to see him run the floor. You want to see him play the defense. You want to see him get easy buckets for KD, for Kyrie. You want to see him then in turn get him some easy buckets going to the hoop. So you want to see all of this, and that gives them expectations, and that makes it championship or bust. All of them have been in the league. All of them have been in the playoffs. All of them have performed except Ben Simmons, and we'll see if he's able now to perform when you got two top 10 or 12 elite players in the game. You got those players. Can he perform in that scenario? So I think this team is championship or bust. Period. Regardless if Pavy's coaching them, if they got Steve Nash coaching them, if they got Marcus Soko, I think their talent is such that they should be championship or bust in the NBA. And as I mentioned, we talked about the Sixers a minute ago, and I was telling you they're top 3 or 4. I didn't include Boston. I didn't include Brooklyn in that mix. And there you go. You got Boston, Milwaukee, Brooklyn, and the Sixers falling in there somewhere. And Brooklyn is championship or bust. What you think, Pat?
So my actual opinion is fuck the Nets. But for the sake of the show, my opinion is this.
You asked the question.
My actual opinion is fuck the Nets. I wish I could mute everything Brooklyn Nets until NBA training camp starts, and I see them actually walk in the actual facility and do shit with a Nets jersey on. Fuck the Nets. I'm very tired of everything Brooklyn Nets. I want to mute Kevin Durant. I want to mute Kyrie Irving. I want to mute Steve Nash. I want to mute Sean Parks. I don't even know the owner name. I want to mute him. I want to mute. I want to mute Dumbo House. I want to mute Brooklyn as a borough. I want to mute everything that has to do with Brooklyn and Nets. I want to mute Barclays Center. I want to mute Jay-Z for being a part of bringing the team there. I want to mute everything that has to do with the Brooklyn Nets. But for the sake of the conversation, what I think about the Brooklyn Nets, I think if you played 2K, if this was 2K, and you cut the injuries off, oh shit, we got something here. You play 2K and you cut the injuries off, oh, we got something here. But number one, Kyrie Irving, let's actually look at it. COVID aside, whatever. COVID is one thing. Love Kyrie. I fuck with Kyrie. Kyrie, one of my favorite players ever touch a basketball. But let's be realistic. Over the past couple of years, since he's been in Brooklyn, this is what Kyrie Irving has played. 20 games, 54, 29. So we just think that he's just going to come out here and play 75 games this season. Now, if he does, that's just incredible. Wow. Kyrie Irving has played 75 games one time. That was 14-15 season. And then he broke his kneecap in the finals. So I don't know why we think Kyrie Irving's gonna come out here and just get the bill. I hope he do. Pray to God he do. But I don't know why would he come out here and get the bill of health. Love Kevin Durant. Since he been in Brooklyn, one season did not play Achilles. After that, 35-55. Kevin Durant ain't played 70. Kevin Durant ain't played.
Look at before. Look, that ain't fair. Look at before Brooklyn.
Before 78. After that,
he came to Brooklyn.
Okay, look.
He came to Brooklyn hurt.
Listen, last year in Golden State, 78. Year before, 68, 62, 72, 27. Then you got 81, 81. It's KD. Out of the past, since Young Thug was broken. No, wait. 24? Since Young Thug dropped Danny Glover.
This guy.
That's 2014. Kevin Durant has played 70 games twice. Kevin Durant is 33. He will be 34 years old in September. So we just think Kevin Durant, 34 years old, and come out here and play 75 games. Now, if he do, I hope he do. God bless him. I pray to God he do. Pray to God he do. I would love to see
I
it.
can't stand Pappy, bro.
I love watching KD play, but we think he just gonna do that.
I know, right?
He just gonna do that. Ben Simmons. I fuck with Ben Simmons. I rock with Ben Simmons. I ain't seen Ben Simmons play in 2 years. I ain't seen Ben Simmons play basketball in a whole calendar year. You know how different life was a year ago? The last time Ben Simmons touched the basketball? Joe Harris, love Joe Harris. But again, TJ Warren on the team. I love TJ Warren. Last time I saw TJ Warren play was the bubble. If we can get bubble TJ Warren on this roster, we have done some shit. If you take the injuries off of the Brooklyn Nets, they have done some shit. But then you actually have to add reality into it and everything else. Also, but I like the Royce O'Neal pickup. I think it adds a little bit more defensively. I mean, Royce O'Neal ain't no great defender.
They needed that.
I think he has a little bit more. I still have memories of him being a fucking turnstile and floating everything to Rudy too. But I think he's a better defender than what they had on the roster. Hopefully Nick Claxton can get better. If TJ Warren can come in, I mean, I'm assuming TJ Warren on a 1 year minimum deal. He's trying to get his career back straight. If his foot is actually good, I think that's a good pickup. Again, like, yes, in theory, the Brooklyn Nets have the goods to compete with anybody. You talk about Kevin Durant, Kyrie, and Ben Simmons. Even Ben Simmons, the last time Ben Simmons played, he was runner-up for Defensive Player of the Year. This is the fact. He also gives them something different. He's probably the best transition player in the NBA. He's still a great playmaker. I know people think he can't shoot. He ain't fucking got to shoot in Brooklyn. And even if he can't shoot, it's going to be so much space on the court. It's always going to be him and one man and get to the rim. I trust Ben Simmons to be able to do that. I just don't trust 99 million of the other variables that have to happen for the Brooklyn Nets to be a good basketball team. I just don't. Number one, what is this locker room going to be like? KD don't want to be there. Where is KD's even mind? Ain't even nobody on this team. Who on this team is going to talk KD out of this?
Not necessarily. I mean, it depends on like what if they keep Nash. If they end up keeping, apparently he's happy with Nash.
The vibes coordinator. Who the vibes coordinator? I remember before they rolled the balls on the court, Kyrie Irving said, "We don't need a coach. We don't need a coach.
Come on, you
can just roll the balls out there."
Kyrie don't know what the hell he's talking about.
He said we don't even need a coach. Ain't even nobody in that whole organization. Ain't nobody in that whole organization who gonna galvanize the troops, in my personal opinion. Let's say they start off the season.
That you got a point there. You got to
galvanize the troops.
You got a point there. You got a point there. And that is one
galvanize the troops.
That you can't argue because you're not going to follow Kyrie. KD already said he don't want that responsibility. You're not going to follow Ben Simmons.
Talking about? When did KD say that?
You have a point there, but the talent is so overwhelming on that team. If I understand the points that you make, they haven't been on the court consecutively together in a lot of years, or a lot of games actually. But the talent is too much to ignore. I mean, their talent tells you just if they're on the court, if they're playing, their talent is going to win most games, Pappy. It's going to be when they get to the playoffs. If they're able to play and have that continuity going into April, May, June, they have to play all season to get that. But if they don't play all season, if they give us what they've given us here in the recent past, the recent 3-year history, this team is going to collapse and struggle to make the play-in tournament as they did this past season.
Yes. Number one, even when they were the number one seed, that shit was separated by like 3 games. It wasn't like they were just up by 10 games on everybody.
Fire, though. Don't take off. It's still fire.
They lost 2 games and fell to 6. It wasn't like they lost 2 games and fell to 6.
Fire. It's still fire.
Just want to say that.
Don't do that.
But anyway,
collapsed to hell after KD went down.
But anyway, moving on.